Alright, good morning everybody. Welcome to another stream of AMS Live. My name is Boy, and what we see landing over here is British Airways flight 2758 coming in from London Gatwick. It's an A319, 18 years old. And touching down on Dutch soil. We are at the Polderbound this morning, as you can probably see. It is a bit windy, southwestern wind. Landings take place on the Polderbound. Arriving right now from Salt Lake City, another plane. A330. For some reason my camera lost focus. This flight coming in from Salt Lake City, where of course, like the rest of Northern America, it is extremely freezing. If you're watching from over there, be safe, be warm, stay inside. Unheard of low temperatures. We'll quickly turn the camera around. I'm looking at flight radar and I see that KLM 678, an A330 coming in from Calgary, Canada, is also ready to land. You can see that there's a bit of wind. By the way, the airplane is grabbing to the right to compensate for the crosswind. The wind is coming from the southwest, so it was a bit of a gamble coming over here this morning, because when the wind is very westerly, not the same thing happens. That's strange. As I was saying, when the wind is coming from the west, we also have runway 27 that can be used. Miram, good morning. It is a bit windy, although the wind is expected to settle down as the day progresses. For now, we have this A319 coming in from Belgrade, Air Serbia. We'll have to see what comes next. Hey Jose, good morning. Also checking in. Okay, we will have to wait for a few minutes for the next plane to arrive. Most likely it's going to be Delta Airlines flight 36 coming in from Orlando. Another A330 will be arriving in a few minutes. This plane is from December 2006, so 16 years old already. Meanwhile, the A319 from Air Serbia is slowly but surely taxiing to the main platform area. This being the Polderbaan, the runway furthest removed from the main platform area of Schiphol Airport. The latest addition to the runway assortment we have. You can see the wind vane is quite erect. It is a bit windy. And it's behind the buildings. So we'll have to wait for the next plane to show up in view. It's almost turning final. It's almost near the coast, which means it's coming in view shortly. I can also see some other planes arriving, most noticeably KLM flight 592 from Johannesburg, which is a 777 now flying in the Rotterdam area. It's most likely going to fly along the coast and then turn right to land on the runway we're currently standing at, which is the plane is a 777-300. So another big jet on approach. Behind it is flight 1224 from KLM from Paris Charles de Gaulle. There's also a flight coming in from Frankfurt that is nearby, but I'm not sure yet if it's going to land on this runway, because I did see one of the smaller jets also land on the Oost runway, the smallest, the one on the east side of the main platform area, which is typically used for private jets, but also small aircraft and narrow bodies such as the 737 can also land on it. So it might be the case that the plane from Frankfurt will be landing on that runway. I think Delta Airline is about to turn final. But as you can see, it's cloudy, so even when it does its landing, even when it has its landing lights on, we might still have to wait a little while for it to become visible. So yeah, Delta Airlines 36 is now turning final, and I see that the Lufthansa flight from Frankfurt, Austrian 988 seems to be flying to the west coast, so it may or may not land on this runway. Could also be that it lands on the middle of the north-south runways, the Zwanenburgbaan. So we'll have to see. Meanwhile, the 777 from Johannesburg is almost near the beach town of Noordwijk. See, we have a few new viewers. Welcome, good morning. Welcome to AMS Live. My name is Boy. We're standing at the Polderbaan at the moment, where today's landings are taking place, at least for now. Wind is coming from the southwest, so we have a bit of crosswind. We're waiting for Delta flight 36 to become visible. Delta 36 has in fact become visible. You can definitely see that there's some crosswind by the way it is oriented. So this A330 coming in from Orlando, 16 years old, and behind it is Austrian 988, not yet visible, but it is turning final, which is an A320 coming in from Frankfurt, and that plane is 14 years old. And also steadily coming along is KLM flight 592 from Johannesburg, 777-300. Alright, I can see on flight radar that the 777 from KLM coming in from Johannesburg is turning base, and the Austrian 320 is in sight. So let me turn around the camera and focus on it. You can definitely tell that the pilots have to do some work today. Although it's not stormy. On the right, we'll enter in our view one of the Kivit vehicles, K3. The Schiphol Scarecrows, as I'd like to call them, or bird controllers as they're officially called, making sure that there aren't any flocks of birds around the landing area to prevent bird strikes from happening. And yeah, as you can hear, they're allowed to celebrate New Year's Eve sooner than we can. Don't see a lot of birds in the vicinity, so not really sure why he was firing off the fireworks, but it sure makes for a nice distraction. And away he goes. Of course, the Schiphol area with a lot of grasslands is a nice place for birds to hang out. So they are definitely necessary. Working 24/7 to make sure that both the birds and passengers stay safe. Meanwhile, we see approaching KLM flight 592, which is coming in from Johannesburg. It's a 777-300, 10 years old, was delivered in June 2012. And after a long flight from South Africa, is almost ready to touch down on Dutch soil again. Well, you can probably tell that it rained until later this night. Let me see. I think we have a few planes coming in succession. First a 737 from Charles de Gaulle. I can see an A319 coming in from Gatwick, and also an A321 coming in from Helsinki. So a few narrow bodies from European origins. Meanwhile, the sun is starting to come out. How about that? After all the icing and rain we've had over the last couple of weeks, it's nice to see the sun again. touch down. Flaps are going to retract in a minute. And it's about to start its taxi back to the gate. You can see how the sun is coming out. Very nice lighting. So next up is an A319 coming in from London Gatwick, and after that we have an A321 coming in from Helsinki, and after that we have an Embraer 190 coming in from Prague. The first of those planes is starting to get in our view, so let me turn around the camera. Let me turn around the camera. The next plane is also ready to touch down. Being the Finnair coming in from Helsinki. Right, let's have a look. Next up we have the Embraer coming in from Prague. After that we have an A320 coming in from Naples, and we also have a Dreamliner lining up, almost turning final, coming in from Cartagena, South America. see we have some new viewers. Good morning everybody. Welcome to AMS Live. My name is Boy. It's a Saturday morning, the day before Christmas. We're at the Polderbaan where landings take place. We have wind blowing from the southwestern direction, so there is crosswind from the right for those planes landing. You can see it by the way the airplanes are crabbing, as it's called, yawing to correct for the crosswind. And where is the Schiphol Scarecrow when you need him? Just spoke about flocks of birds around the Schiphol area. Hopefully this won't lead to a bird strike, but you can clearly see that there are a lot of birds at the moment. You can also see the pilots have to do some work today. Which of course adds to our fun. So I think the next plane is already the Dreamliner from Cartagena, 6 years old. So let's quickly turn around the camera to watch it land. It's Dreamliner 787-900. KLM. Let's see what's next. See a 737-800 from Transavia coming in from Innsbruck, and after that Lufthansa A320 coming in from Munich. There's also a private jet approaching from Birmingham, but I think that one might land on the Oostbaan, as that's nearest to the parking for business jets. So first up, in view, Transavia flight 6610 coming in from Innsbruck, Austria. This is a relatively new plane coming in, was delivered in April 2017, so it's 5 years old. the Lufthansa 320 coming in after that, a bit older, 12 years old, was delivered in August 2010. Let's see if the Cessna Citation is landing on the Polderbaan or not. Don't think so, but who knows, maybe we're in luck. Sometimes those business jets do land on these runways other than the Oostbaan, but with the prevailing winds it's probably going to continue eastward. Right, let's turn around the camera to capture the next plane. Let's have a look-see. Yeah, unfortunately the Cessna Citation is still eastbound, so it's going to take a right-hand turn, fly over the city of Amsterdam to land on the Oostbaan, which is, as I thought it would be, unfortunately. But given that the wind is blowing from the southwest, it's almost completely headwind, straight headwind, if they land on the Oostbaan, and they're also right near their parking platform, so another time. Let's have a look at flight radar, see what's coming. I think the first plane that we will start see landing over here is a Dreamliner from TUI, coming in from Bonaire, one of the Caribbean islands of the Netherlands, or used to be. I think officially it's a sovereign state. Not sure anymore. It's a Dreamliner 787-800, 8 years old, delivered in May 14. And I can also see another Dreamliner behind it, still on the North Sea, but heading towards the mainland. Still flying at just under 5,000 feet. Coming in from Philadelphia, American Airlines 204. I think those two are definitely going to land on this runway. Behind the Dreamliner coming in from Philly, there is a British Airways A319. So there's definitely a few planes on approach. Behind the 319 from British Airways from Heathrow, there is a KLM flight coming in from Norwich, 737-800, and that's just looking to the west. I haven't had a look yet to the east. Don't see a lot from that direction coming in. The TUI Dreamliner is about to turn final, so we will be able to see it in a few moments. So let me quickly turn around the camera so that we don't miss it. Don't see it yet, but it will become visible shortly. Right, TUI flight 365 is on final and just visible, barely visible. PHTFK. And what you're hearing in the background is the Schiphol Scarecrow firing off another round of fireworks to make sure that the birds stay away while the composite bird is about to land. So coming in next is American 204 coming in from Philly, another Dreamliner. It's becoming visible, so I'm going to turn around the camera. And the Schiphol Scarecrow in the foreground, patrolling alongside the runway. You can also see on the left hand the flock of birds, and you can see it fire off some fireworks. Like the pilots, the Scarecrows too definitely have to do some work this morning. All right. Coming up next, let me see. British Airways A319 coming in from London Heathrow. Behind it is a 737-800 from KLM coming in from Norwich. Behind it we have another plane coming in from London Heathrow, a DHL Airbus A300. So you don't get to see those every day, well, unless you spot during the night, of course. DHL delivering mostly during the night. That particular plane, 28 years old, from 1994. So that's definitely the oldest plane we'll probably be seeing this morning. First, a few younger and smaller planes. Right, let's quickly turn around the camera for our next approaching airplane. Okay, let's turn around the camera. I see something else, namely a patrol of fire trucks. Meanwhile, let's not forget the A330 from DHL. Right, let's have a look at Flight Radar, see what's coming up next. So there's still a 737 from KLM, flight 1002 on final, coming in from London Heathrow. I can see that there's another airplane coming in from the United States, Delta 132, coming in from Detroit, which is flying base and will be turning final, still a bit further away, so it won't become visible just yet. Let's see what else we have in store. I can see a 777 coming in from Sao Paulo, KLM 792, that's a 777-300. There's also an A320 coming in from Zagreb, Croatia Airlines, and they're all about to line up to land on the runway we are currently standing at, so stay tuned for more. Right, let's quickly turn around the camera. For those of you who are just joining us, good morning, welcome to AMS Live. My name is Boy and we are currently at the Polderbaan, where arrivals are taking place this morning. Wind is coming in from the west, southwest, so we have some crosswind, which you can see. By the way, the airplanes are all facing us. Definitely tell that they have to do some work to correct for the crosswind this morning. But that's what makes it fun, I think, for both the pilots and for us, the viewers. Okay, the sun is starting to come out a bit further. Didn't expect that. Was expecting a more cloudy morning. So happily surprised by that. You can see how the sun illuminates the airplanes. Quite lovely. I think I also see the next plane approaching, so I'm going to turn around the camera. Make sure we don't miss it. Let's see, where is it? There it is. So what we see approaching right now is Delta Airlines Flight 132 from Detroit. And I can see that the plane I was mentioning just earlier from Zagreb is going to land on the parallel runway. The 777 coming in from Sao Paulo is still looking to line up for this runway, although I'm not sure, cannot tell with certainty just yet. Flight radar doesn't always depict the actual flight tracks accurately, and this one seems to be right in the middle of the two runways, so I'm not sure yet if the triple will be landing on this runway or if we can see it land in the distance. For now, this is the 330 coming in from Detroit, where of course it is freezing at the moment. Incredibly low temperatures in the whole of North America. Okay, so it does seem that the 777 from Sao Paulo, the 300, is landing on this runway, and I can see it in the distance already. Just about. This is KLM flight 792 coming in from Sao Paulo. Departed 10.5 hours ago. It's a new plane, relatively new, 2 years old. Was delivered in December 2020. We'll have to see what comes after that. I see a few planes lining up. KLM 737-900 from Charles de Gaulle, Paris, France. There's also a flight from Turkish coming in from Istanbul. Not sure yet whether that's going to land on this runway or if it's going to be a parallel landing. We'll see. We'll be here. On the left you can still see the previous plane taxiing towards the main platform area. still waiting for the next plane to enter our view, so we'll follow this triple a bit longer. Still has its spoilers up, I can see. There we have the fire trucks passing us by earlier. You can see the wind is still blowing. You can probably hear it too. Not a storm, but a bit of wind nonetheless. Okay, well, as we see it depart behind the buildings, let's see what's next. Yeah, so the Turkish 330 is in fact landing on the parallel runway, and for us, we have a plane from Charles de Gaulle first, an Embraer 190 coming in from London City after that, and we have a Dreamliner, the largest in the fleet of KLM, the 787-10, coming in from Panama City, which is now turning final. And there's also a DHL A300 coming in from Madrid. And I'm thinking that that one is also going to land on the runway we are standing at. So let's just wait and see. Meanwhile, we can see the plane from Turkish in the distance. Let me see if I can also bring it in view. Where is it? There it is. Meanwhile, another plane is landing on our runway. KLM 737. And the Schiphol Scarecrow is firing off some fireworks again, as you can hear. Right. Let's turn around the camera. The next plane is also approaching. Little Embraer. let me have a look at flight radar. See what's happening. Okay, we have a few big jets coming in, people. So let me quickly turn around the camera. Make sure that we capture them all. When I was looking in a quick glance, I thought I also saw a 747 coming in. Didn't have a lot of time to check all the details, unfortunately. If I recall correctly, this one coming in from Panama City. Look at how long this plane is. Absolutely competition for the triple. Right, let's turn around the camera. We have another big jet coming in. Come on, focus. Right. If I recall correctly, this is another A300 from DHL. Let me zoom in. Yeah, it's the A300. Don't know how old this one is, but it's definitely old. Don't get to see two of them in a short period of time that often. These old planes, of course, not being cost effective anymore for people transportation, but for cargo, mail, packages. Those old types, of course, still suffice. I'm glad they are. Otherwise, we wouldn't be seeing those planes anymore. We wouldn't be seeing the MD-11s anymore. 747s, 400s are also gradually getting more extinct, unfortunately. So it's a good thing they are still profitably usable for cargo. Right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to turn around the camera, even though this is a very nice image, because we have a 747 approaching. And we don't want to miss that. Let me quickly have a look at flight radar. This being a National Airlines 31 years old, delivered in October 1991, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, so definitely one of the older planes this morning, along with the two Airbus A300s. Fabulous, seeing those airplanes still fly. Right, let's turn around the camera. Next plane is also coming in already. Let me quickly have a look at flight radar to see what it is. It is an A330 from Delta coming in from Seattle. One of the planes that was at least able to take off. If I recall correctly, Seattle Airport had to close their runways due to the cold for a short moment. A330neo with the same curved winglets as the A350. Very gracious and aesthetic, at least that's how I feel about it. Also the sunglasses, cockpit view image, similar to the 350, the Airbus A220. Right. So as these jets are taxiing towards the main platform area, let me quickly have a look at flight radar, see what's coming up next. There's an Embraer coming in from Geneva. And that seems to be about it for now. There's a 737 coming in from Manchester from KLM. Embraer coming in from Norwich, also from KLM. Not many big jets at the moment. Good morning, Oleg. Nice of you to join us. And of course, all the other people watching. Welcome to AMS Live on this morning, the day before Christmas, where we are filming Polderbaan arrivals. No reversers for the Embraer. You could tell how silent these new airplanes are. Making sure to vacate the runway quickly. While I was driving here this morning, I saw a plane what seemed to be taking off again. It was a missed approach, or at least a go around, because as I came closer to the runway I saw that there was still an airplane taxiing, so probably didn't vacate the runway quickly enough, so the one behind it had to go around. For a moment I was afraid that they were going to use other runways and I was coming to the wrong runway, but fortunately that wasn't the case. Particularly when it's busy, you have to make sure as a pilot to get off the runway as quickly as possible. ATC guides the planes with minimal space in between, so if you're not quick enough when it's really busy, you don't have enough time to vacate the runway. Right, so we're currently waiting for the next plane. I think it might be the 737 from KLM coming in from Manchester, although it is still I think there might be 3 planes coming up next. 737 from KLM. There's also another plane coming in. That's an A320 from Pegasus coming in from Istanbul. That might also land on this runway. And almost crossing over to the mainland is KLM flight 1516 coming in from Norwich. It's a small Embraer 175. That's probably going to land over here. I think actually that the plane from Manchester might be landing on the parallel runway. Don't have it in my view yet. I think we have to wait a little bit longer. It seems that the KLM 737 will land on the Zwanenburgbaan. By the looks of it, it might be the case as well for the Pegasus flight. I think we'll have to wait a little bit longer, unfortunately, for the next plane to arrive. Let's at least turn around the camera, see what's going on. Cannot see anything approaching just yet. Yeah, I think I might see the landing lights of the first plane that's going to land on the parallel runway. So I unfortunately can confirm that both the planes from Manchester and from Istanbul will be landing on the parallel runway. So we'll have to wait and see if the Embraer from Norwich will do the same. It might, may not, don't know yet. So in the meantime, let's see, where is it? There we go. We are still waiting for the next plane to arrive on the Polderbaan, and unfortunately we'll have to wait a bit longer, so let's just track these two airplanes. This is the Pegasus airplane coming in from Istanbul. Touchdown. Let's have a look at flight radar, see what's coming. Well, I think we're in bad luck. All the planes now seem to be landing on the parallel runway, those that are approaching. Very unfortunate. I'm sure that sooner or later planes will be landing again on this runway, but the question is, how long do we have to wait for it? Little Embraer, almost touching down. Let's see, where's the next one? There it is. So this isn't exactly what I was coming for. Neither were you. Another KLM 737, as we can clearly see. About to touch down. Right, let's have a look at Flight Radar, see if anything is coming. Okay, there is an A320 coming in from Madrid, from Iberia. I'm not sure yet where it's going to land. There's also KLM 737-700, baby 737 coming in from Birmingham. Another Embraer from KLM, from Lyon. We have an EasyJet coming in from Geneva, A320. These are all in the vicinity. Another Embraer coming in from Southampton. So there's definitely traffic underway. The main question, of course, now is which runway are they going to land on? Unfortunately, I cannot answer that with certainty just yet. Hey Marissa, good morning. So there's a TUI 787 18 minutes out, followed by a KLM 777 21 minutes out. So That's good news. And the 737 from Birmingham will be landing on 18 right, she writes. Thank you so much for that information. I can see on flight radar indeed that the Birmingham flight has just passed the North Sea Canal. So let's turn around the camera. It will become visible shortly. Just about visible. So everybody who is watching, good morning. Welcome to AMS Live. My name is Boy. And we are standing alongside the Polderbound runway where landings take place. Although last 10 minutes the Zwanenburgbaan was in use. It's the day before Christmas. It's not too cold, approximately 10 degrees. It is a bit windy. Wind blowing from the southwest, so there's some crosswind from the right for the plane's landing, as you can see, but that only adds to the visual appeal. You can see how the plane is facing us while we're standing alongside the runway. I think we also need to call in the bird controllers again. You can see the flock of birds in the foreground. So we definitely have some bird issues today. Who knows, we might be in for another round of fireworks from the bird controllers. We already witnessed a few before earlier this morning. Let's quickly turn around. The next plane is also coming in. Let's see, that's a plane from Iberia coming in from Madrid. And it seems that there are 2 or 3 even planes coming after that. So maybe the runway was out of use just temporarily. Spoilers lowered and on its way to the gate. which from over here is still a long taxi. Polderbaan, as you may or may not know, is the runway most remote from the main platform area. Next up to land another Embraer. Okay. Right. Coming in another 737. Right, there's definitely more traffic underway. Interestingly, there's also another flight coming in from Cape Town, South Africa, another 777-300, which I think will probably land on this runway. There's a Transavia from Alicante and some other planes, some smaller planes coming in. An Embraer from Southampton, the A320 from Geneva, the EasyJet. There's another A320 coming in from Milan. I can see an Embraer from Billund, which might also land over here. So some smaller planes. But there's also another big jet coming in. Let me also try to give you some more information about these planes landing. So this one is coming in from Geneva, A320, 9 years old, delivered in June 2013. And after it is another EasyJet A320 coming in from Milan, brand new, delivered in July this year. brand new A320. Not a Neo, I think, or is it? Of course it is. Bird controllers still haven't done anything about the flock of birds in the foreground. Hopefully there won't be any bird strikes. They're definitely chilling and having a good time by the looks of it. Right, next plane is also ready to land. Another Embraer. Right, the next plane is also in view. Let's quickly have a look at flight radar, see what's coming up. Indeed, what Marissa was already writing. 3 heavies coming up shortly. So we're in for a treat. Meanwhile, the wind doesn't seem to be slowing down. I thought as the day progressed it was going to be less and less, but so far it hasn't been the case. Which is good because it allows us to see some pilots having to work. there's a 2V flight Dreamliner coming in from Curaçao at the moment. After that we have a KLM 777-300 coming in from Bonaire. The Dreamliner first approaching 8 years old, the triple behind it 7 years old. Both planes coming from the sunnier part of the Kingdom of the Netherlands in the Caribbean. So that's two, I think, out of 3 Dreamliners that TUI in the Netherlands operates that we saw land just this morning. Let's quickly turn around the camera to see the 777-300 coming in. Beautiful lighting with the sun shining through the milky sky. Gives a certain lighting that you don't get to see under normal circumstances. Triple, of course, now still has to taxi back to the gate, probably 10 minutes or so away. And here we see a 320. Don't see that often. Pink in the livery. Typically red or yellow or green or blue. Let's quickly turn around the camera. Next plane is also about to touch down. Let me also quickly have a look at flight radar. So there is still a lot of planes coming in. All narrow bodies. There's definitely more traffic coming in, fortunately. So we won't have to track planes that are landing on the other runway anytime soon. Let's quickly turn the camera around. Landings are taking place closely after another. Another Embraer. Birds in the foreground, or at least one. They definitely seem to be having a good time over here. Keeping up the pace, making sure to vacate the runway quickly, and also to shorten the time to the gate. The Polderbaan, of course, being one of the furthest removed runways from the main platform area of an airport anywhere in the world, if not the furthest removed. If anybody is watching and knows of a runway that is further removed from the main platform area, please let me know, because I'm curious. I cannot think of anyone. So if you know if there are runways even further removed from the main platform area than the Polderbaan is from Schiphol, I'd love to know. So the sun is definitely coming out a bit more, which is lovely. It wasn't cold already, but a little bit of sunshine never hurts. Makes the morning even more joyful. Let's see. Approaching right now is 737 from KLM coming in from Brussels. Behind it there's a 737 coming in from Edinburgh. Behind it, number 3, is a KLM coming in from Luxembourg, an Embraer. And there's even more underway. Didn't see any heavies just now. Just yet. These smaller jets are coming in almost back to back. You have to be very quick to make sure you don't miss any of the action. Let's quickly turn around to see the next one approach and touch down in a minute. Another Embraer. Nice touchdown. You can see it's still quite windy. Not a storm, but definitely some crosswind for the pilots to work against. As you can see with this 737. Alright, the next one is also coming up. Let me quickly look at flight radar, see what's coming up next. Still only some smaller planes, unfortunately. Couple of Embraers first of all. There's a 737 from Transavia and also an A320 coming this way. But for now, mostly a couple of Embraers. You can definitely tell that the runway is drying up. Earlier this morning there was much more spray visible. Now not so much anymore. One of the newer Embraers. You can just see how humongous these engines are compared to the older type. Really big. You can almost see through them. So much bypass. It's almost like it's a turboprop. Okay, and yet another Embraer. Marissa keeping us updated about all the heavies coming in. 777, Dreamliner coming in from JFK. And of course also the 380 from Emirates coming in from Dubai. I think that was scheduled to land just before 1 o'clock local time, if I'm not mistaken. in an hour or so. That would of course be awesome if it were to land on this runway. Definitely worth sticking around for. Thought I heard the brakes of the airplane. Maybe it needs some oil. You won't believe it, it's another Embraer. You can see this is an older type. You can see the difference in size of the engines. This is almost too small. Newer ones are almost too big proportionally. Right, another jet is coming in. Let's quickly turn the camera around. This time around it's another 737 coming in. Fortunately, I don't see a lot of birds around the touchdown zone. Seem to be situated more further along the runway, so that's good. And by the looks of it, another Embraer. You can see this is one of the newer types. If you compare the engine size with the earlier one, this one is much bigger. Almost too big proportionally. It's passing by and I can barely hear it. Really silent. See-through engines. Well, anybody who just tuned in, welcome. Welcome to AMS Live. My name is Boy. We are currently alongside the boulder-bound runway, where landings are in progress. It's about 10 degrees Celsius. Wind is blowing from the southwest. So there's a bit of crosswind coming from the right for the planes that are landing in front of us. As you can see, the sun is trying to get from behind the clouds. No rain predicted, just a bit of wind, a little bit of sun. So lovely weather to spend a Saturday morning spotting some planes the day before Christmas. From Aegean, also very quiet, as you could hear. Really hardly any noise at all. Quickly have a glance at flight radar. Hello, good morning, YT fan. And goodbye, Marissa. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. Merry Christmas to you too. Hope to see you again anytime soon. And enjoy your mod duties on another stream. So yeah, as a Transavia 737 passes us by, I can see a private jet from NetJets, but that one is going to land on the Oostbaan. We are expecting KLM flight 644 from JFK in a few minutes. ETA is 6 minutes according to flight radar. It's almost over the west coast. That is definitely going to land. On this runway. There's still a few smaller jets on approach. We have an Embraer coming in from London City from British Airways. There's an Embraer from Humberside from KLM also coming in. I can also see another A330-200 from KLM coming in from Port of Spain. Still 15 minutes or so out. Most likely the first plane to arrive will be the Dreamliner coming in from JFK. Looking to the east, there's also an Embraer from KLM from Düsseldorf underway. Not yet sure if it's going to land on this runway or not. So we'll have to wait for a few minutes for the next traffic to show up. In the meantime, in the distance I can see that the bird controller is also patrolling. Let me see if I can get that in view. So we're still waiting for the next plane to show up. I can see that the Dreamliner coming in from JFK has turned final now. So let me turn around the camera in a minute so we can get it in view. I think next up will be an Embraer 190 coming in from Düsseldorf, and there's also an Embraer 190 coming in from London City. So there's definitely some more planes underway. Not yet able to see Dreamliner. It's bound to become visible anytime soon. Let me also see if I can maybe see it on the laptop. Oh yeah, you can see it better on the laptop than on my little camera display, but you can definitely see it approach. So this Dreamliner is a 787-10, the biggest in the fleet of KLM. It's a relatively new plane. It was delivered in May 2020, so it's 2 years old. The Embraers coming in after it, the first one from Düsseldorf is 13 years old, and the second one from British Airways from London City, 12 years old. So this Dreamliner is definitely the youngest of the bunch. So the largest Dreamliner in KLM's fleet. Look at how long the fuselage is. Much longer than the 800. I don't think it's much shorter than a 777, actually. The original Dreamliner, of course, being a smaller plane. More like the middle ground between the 757, 767 and the triples. But as with cars, they've only gotten bigger. To the point that the 787-10 is probably comparable in terms of seats with the 777. 777, of course, being an older model in the meantime. So the Dreamliner is probably more fuel efficient and cost effective to operate. Meanwhile, as my camera has a bit of difficulty focusing, we see another Embraer. Flaring relatively high. Those are definitely the brakes I can hear squeaking a little bit. Heard it with the other the other Embraer earlier this morning as well. Maybe, not sure if you guys can pick it up as well. one. The Embraer coming in from London City. Still a lovely reflection from the sunlight. As it's leaving the runway and starting its taxi to the gate. Hello Martin, good day to you too, sir. Okay folks, we still have 2 Embraers coming up, and then we have an A330 coming in. There's also a 737 from Barcelona underway. An A320 from Dublin. A320 from Lisbon. So apart from the Airbus A330, it's still all narrow bodies, unfortunately. We'll have to wait a bit longer to see another wide body approaching. You can see that the taxiways are a bit wet, not soaking wet, but there's still some moisture from the rain that we had last night. Although there's no more rain in the forecast for today. Let me quickly turn around the camera. The next plane is also in view. Yet another Embraer. If any of you are Embraer fans, this is your morning. Sure are seeing a lot of them. Right. Showtime. Next up, the A330. From Port of Spain. Right, let me have a look at flight radar. See what's coming up. Still mostly narrow bodies, but there is a constant influx. Police chopper flying over there. Let me see if I can capture it. I think at least it's a police helicopter. Or cannot see with the sun shining in my face. I think it's a police helicopter and not a lifeliner. I'm not sure. You guys can probably tell better than I can at the moment. Maybe it's a private helicopter, I'm not sure. Not really able to discern it. Looking at the screen of my camera. Maybe we can see it better as it's turning around. Right. Back to the planes it is. Yeah, even though the helicopter is now flying on my right hand side and is a bit closer, I'm still unable to discern whether or not it's a police helicopter or maybe a private helicopter. And unfortunately don't have the time to check flight radar because the next plane is already approaching, another 737. Right folks, let me have a look at flight radar. What's coming up? I can see a Dreamliner from Minneapolis, also near the coast. It's probably going to be number, what is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, probably going to be number 5. Still just below 7,000 feet. First plane coming in is Top Air Portugal, coming in from Lisbon, A320, 21 years old, not the newest of planes. And after that we have a KLM City Hopper Embraer 190 coming in from Leeds. That plane is 7 years old. And then there's also a KLM Embraer 190 coming in from Basel, from German Airways. So, okay. So it says KLM. Right. Anyway, let me turn around the camera so that we can also see something. Put on my glove, even though it's not cold with the wind constantly blowing. At least my hands are freezing quickly. I'm one of those people who always gets cold hands quickly. What you're hearing is a departing plane just flying over us, having made a turnaround and flying northbound. So this is the Air Portugal plane. Spoilers lowered and vacating the runway. Let me turn around the camera for the next plane to arrive. do some corrections last minute. Look at that. Showcasing a long flare. Right. Let's turn around quickly. Next plane is already visible, still a bit further away. And let's also see, I am curious to see where the Emirates A380 is approximately. It's almost over Münster in Germany, still at 40,000 feet. ETA 27 minutes. So I think I'll be sticking around until we see the A380 from Emirates land, and I think after that I will call it a day. But I don't want to miss the 380 now that it is already so nearby. Oh, look at the corrections. These smaller planes particularly are sensitive for crosswind. Those pilots have to do a bit more work than the heavier planes that are more stable in crosswind. Still a seemingly effortless landing. Alright, no time to waste. Next plane is about to touch down. Now I was saying that I'll be sticking around for the 380 from Emirates to land. Hopefully it will land on the Polderbaan and not on one of the other runways, of course. That would be a real shame. For now, most of the traffic has been landing on the Polderbaan where we're standing at. But you never know for sure with Schiphol. They might also change the runway and decide that landing planes are about to land on runway 27, for instance. Or maybe on the parallel runway, in which case we might still see it, but only in the distance. So we'll have to wait and see. First up, this Dreamliner. That is definitely landing in front of us. Magnificent jet. Let me quickly turn around the camera because we have another landing plane. Magnificent. Right, I can see that the Emirates 380, the Super, is crossing the German-Dutch border. You can also see that there is a 777-200 from KLM coming in from Guayaquil, South America. I can also see that there is a 767 from Iceland Air coming in from Reykjavik. So there's definitely some more planes approaching. Let me quickly turn around the camera so that we can also witness it. .767s also slowly but surely only being used for cargo operations. I think it was United that until recently still operated a lot of 767s. Most of them have been phased out in favor of Dreamliners. and A350s, which of course are very beautiful aircraft as well. It's still a beautiful plane that you don't get to see that often anymore these days, so always happy to see one if we get the chance. As the LATAM Cargo 767 heads to the gate, I'll turn around the camera to see the next plane. Coming in. Liwe, good question. Where are the bird controllers? Well, as it happens, we did see them a few times earlier during the stream, earlier this morning. We got a few firework displays for free before New Year's Eve, but I haven't seen them for a while now. There are definitely a few flocks of birds around the runway. We haven't had any bird strikes yet, fortunately. They definitely have their work cut out for them today. Let me see. Is that one of their vehicles? I think it might be. I think one of the Kivits is definitely... I think it's a Kivit vehicle. It's probably on a lunch break or something. So anybody who just joined us, welcome to the stream. Welcome to AMS Live. My name is Boy and we're at the Polderbaan, as you probably already could tell. Approaches coming in today. Wind is blowing from the southwest. It's not stormy, but it's a bit windy. We've been streaming for about 3 hours now, I think. And I'm going to be sticking around, hopefully to see Emirates 147 still land. Airbus A380, of course, that Schiphol doesn't get to see as much anymore these days. Emirates 147 currently almost near Zwolle, 17,500 feet high, descending. Hopefully we'll get to see it land in front of us. So far most landings have been on the Polderbaan, although a few were on the Zwanenburgbaan, the middle of the north-south oriented runways of Schiphol. With the current prevailing winds, of course, it's not unthinkable that they change the runway for landing to 27, which also has a similar crosswind component to the current runway, the Polderbaan. So yeah, flight 147 from Emirates is still out 15 minutes or so. In the meantime, there are a few other planes approaching. The first of which is probably going to be a Boeing 737 coming in from Glasgow. There's also an Embraer 190 coming in from Newcastle, both operated by KLM. There's also a Transavia 737 coming in from Thessaloniki, Greece. So I'll be sticking around at least until the Emirates Super has landed. We also have another 767 coming in from Iceland Air, also one of the few last remaining operators of the 767 for passenger purposes. And now that I've had the chance to look at Flight Radar a bit longer, I think what we saw earlier, the helicopter, was in fact a police helicopter, but I'm not entirely certain. Anyway, we're still awaiting the first plane to come in view, which is going to be KLM flight 1474 from Glasgow, 737. Although I think we might have another moment where it seems to be lining up for the Zwanenburgbaan. I think we might be in bad luck. Cannot say for sure, but it seems to be landing on the other runway. So we'll have to be patient a bit longer. All the planes currently approaching seem to be going for the other runway. Yeah, unfortunately we'll have to wait a bit longer. However, I do see if my camera also cooperates, the first next plane. Is this a hiccup? Oh yeah, it seems to be a hiccup of Flight Radar. So these planes are actually approaching the Polderbaan. It just for a moment seemed that they were going to the other runway, but the 737 coming in from Glasgow, it's one of the smaller ones, the 700s, is in fact number one, and after that number two is the Embraer 190 coming in from Newcastle. The Embraer, 14 years of age, and the 737 that we see right now, 13 years old. Let me quickly put on my glove and put away my phone so that I can operate the camera with both hands, and we can actually follow these planes land. can see how short the fuselage is compared to the more prevalent 800 and 900 series. Not sure which one is smaller, the 737-700 or the A319 or A318. I think the A318 is even smaller. Let me quickly turn around the camera for our next plane. Which is another Embraer. This one 13 years of age. Okay, let's quickly turn around the camera once again for our next plane. Right, first of all, first up is the 767 from Iceland Air. This plane is 25 years old, from 1997. After that, we have the 777-200 coming in from Guayaquil, if I pronounce that correctly. Didn't get a chance to have a look at the age of the 777 just yet, but this is more important. You can tell they still have to do some work to correct for the crosswind. Lovely airplane. Meanwhile, K5 just passed us by. Ready to set off some more fireworks. Chase away the birds. But I'll have to turn around the camera to make sure that we see the triple from Guayaquil. Okay, so looking at flight radar just now, this triple coming up is 18 years old, from November 2004. And ladies and gentlemen, number 3 is probably going to be Emirates 147, the Super coming in from Dubai. If it is indeed going to land in front of us, it's going to be the last plane that I will be following for today. After that plane has landed, I will wrap it up. Maybe I'll be back on Monday, on Boxing Day. Don't know for sure just yet. But today's stream will end after the Emirates Air 380 has landed. First, this 777-200. Right. Although not as exciting as a 777, there is another plane coming up. So let me turn around the camera and capture it. Surely we must have seen the entire Embraer fleet of KLM land in the last couple of hours. At least a significant percentage of it. This is of course one of those newer Embraers with the big engines. You can just see how large they are, especially compared to the older types. Right, no time to waste, because Emirates 147 Camera regains focus. Emirates 147 Super, ladies and gentlemen. Beautiful. So as this Airbus A380 is slowly taxiing to the gate, I am going to wrap up today's stream. Everybody who has joined me today and is still watching and has watched, thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you've had a good time. If you liked what you saw and you haven't done so, please give this stream a thumbs up. And if you don't want to miss any upcoming streams, consider subscribing. Hit the bell icon so you get updates of new streams. I'm looking to be back with you again soon. Maybe Monday, maybe another day. Thank you all so much for watching. My name is Boy. This has been AMS Live. Hope you guys have a great Christmas. Have a nice day. Be safe if you're in North America. Stay inside, stay warm, be safe. And take care. Bye for now.